Today, I have a couple of quotes from Prabhupada and a few ideas about how to avoid Japa fade. Fade means to gradually grow weak. And generally people don't stop a discipline, but they fade away. A little bit at a time, 1%, 0.5%, and then suddenly it seems as if they found themselves stopping suddenly, but it's actually a gradual process. Similar to the process of success is by making incremental improvements. First, a quote from Prabhupada for our consideration about japa. Simply, our prayer should be, my dear Krishna, please remind me to always chant your holy name. Please do not put me into forgetfulness. You are sitting within me as Supersoul, so you can put me into forgetfulness or into remembering you. So please do not put me into forgetfulness. Please always remind me to chant. Even you send me into hell, it doesn't matter, just so long as I can always chant Hare Krishna. And a couple looks at the japa fade. We'll just look at do you have a slide? If it's going to be a while, let me know, and then I'll just come back to it. So that's our prayer. Prabhupada says, pray to Krishna to remind us to always chant and not to put us in forgetfulness. So we make that conscious prayer, then it means that we're eager to serve Krishna by the chanting process. Okay, we'll come back to it. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram
Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Krishna Ram 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 Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna. Dear devotees, sorry to break your samadhi. If you're feeling better about yourself and the world and feeling a sense of healthy detachment while chanting, that's because Krishna's names have all of his personal powers. And he's like the sun. And just as plants come up and thrive when they get sunshine, so similarly we thrive as souls when we come in contact with Krishna. And the best way, Lord Chaitanya said, to come in contact with Krishna is to simply repeat his holy names and be in their presence. And if the holy name seems to be attractive when you're saying it, it's because Krishna is all attractive and he's not different from his name. This also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said and quoted many verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's the most nourishing of all activities that we can do every day is to complete our chanting with great vigor. There is always the chance that we can gradually weaken in the process of chanting. So we have to guard against that. Now let's see a couple slides. We'll see if we can match it up with a few concepts about japa fade. We should avoid japa fade, right? Correct. Go.
Yay! All practices fade without attention. So if we have to give attention to our practice, the word attention, actually one of the meanings is special care. You have to give special care to your practice of chanting japa. Keep going, if possible. And that also means, that is the word attention. It has the word ten in it, which means to stretch. Go. You have to stretch. Stretch towards the holy name. That's what attention means. If you're slumping away from it with your mind or your body or your intentions altogether, then you lose the full power of the holy name. So, high practice of japa and the way we're advancing is to be giving special care and stretching towards the name. If you could notice yourself, your mind stretching towards hearing the name and so forth, then we're avoiding japa fade, going in the right direction. And, as within any practice, we're either improving or getting worse. There's no staying the same. So we have to be intentionally getting better every day. And if we try, even by tiny degrees, even if it's a molecule of improvement every day, then we're going in the right direction. As soon as we stop doing that, then we're going the other way. And we get dragged into the whirlpool of material existence, unlimited desires and anxieties. So be determined. The message is to make japa better every day. Don't be satisfied with the status quo. Let's see if you have any comments so far. You can go back to the Zoom. I'd like to thank those who offered those images for our Make Japa Great Again today. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yes. Aparagarangi. Tech support. On aisle 1, we need a mic check.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for the wonderful slides. I was able to connect with the point which mentioned in the slide that we either improve or deteriorate. We don't stay the same. So I really like that point.
Why did you connect with that?
Many years ago, one of my seniors told me the same thing. And with that image, it became even more clear that we cannot stay the same. So we either have to go up or we will automatically go down.
Nice. It's a nice thing about being a human, too. You can decide that you're going to improve and make steps towards it. Have something to stretch towards. Any thoughts on japa fade? Is that Bhakti Krishna? Tech support on L2.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Srila Gurudev, for the nice points. In the first point in the beginning about where you quoted Srila Prabhupada, the prayer where it says that please make me remember your name. You give forgetfulness or remembrance. Please make me remember always your name, and wherever am I can chant your name. I like that point, and I was able to relate to it as I'm going somewhere. So, yeah.
Jai.
Thank you.
We're all going somewhere, and it's important to keep that prayer going. I was thinking the other day, in the course of my day, I was running from one place to the next, and as I walked through our temple room, I had the option, because it's a thoroughfare in the house, I could bow down or I could just keep walking through and sort of give a nod of the head. And I was just about to step forward through, and I stopped, and I turned around, and I put my head on the ground. And I felt satisfied, and I thought, well, it's such a simple thing to stretch towards Krishna. And if I just take the moment to stretch towards him during the day at any time, or while I'm chanting japa, especially, then he reciprocates. And making such a prayer also to be able to always remember, or that he can remind me to do that, is important.
Maharaj,
Chitta Krishna, yes.
should I say something?
Ashok Krishna, I'm sorry. Yes, please.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I think the very first Prabhupada's prayer which you shared, that's a pretty enlivening, because I felt like, we did chant, then we wanted to be in a mood of humble, as a humble servant. And then we want to seek Krishna's mercy. But even the mercy, to chant itself, we need the mercy. So, I felt like, it's a kind of a helping, asking for a help, and that I can connect with you, but then to connect with you also, I need a help from you to help me. So
You can always start somewhere.
So right.
To be sincere about being sincere about being sincere. Anywhere you start, it connects you to the current. It's important to make that move. Ashok Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. I was relating this from my professional experience, being in the clinical rehabilitation profession. We all often have to work with patients for improving some kind of skill that they have lost because of some injury or something. And so, and the mantra that we give them is, if you don't use it, you lose it. That. And so when you said that, your attention, if you don't pay attention, it fades away. I was trying to relate that it was very apt from that. So thank you for sharing that.
This is such a really practical example of Ashok Krishna. It's like if there's some biomechanical defect in the body, doing like bad posture or something like that, one of the joints goes out, gets arthritis, or starts to get impingement, you have to very deliberately change your posture, and you have to do it regularly, do exercises, and throughout the day keep adjusting your posture. Otherwise, it just becomes chronic and never come out of it. And we're in a chronic position of forgetfulness in the material world, so we have to very deliberately practice over and over again, remembering Krishna, until it comes back to its natural state. Thank you very much, Ashok Krishna. It was great. We have two more on the Zoom. If we can, I think. Good.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
I have also been reading about Prabhupada on attention, and it's so interesting that you also spoke about that today. And it's not just attention, but it's also an offense. Prabhupada says that you're just saying the name, but your mind is not there, then you're committing an offense. So it just creates a setback, as you said, like either going up or going down. But this attention is the main thing that determines whether we are going up or going down. So that point caught me, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
I like the way you use the word setback and offense. Yes. If we don't give attention, then that's what's happening. Thank you very much. Pavani Bhakti? And then we'll go back to the Zoom as soon as I can see everybody.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I was thinking when you spoke about forgetfulness, about Kunti Maharani and her prayers, that she wants all calamities to happen to her as far as Krishna is in front of her. She'll never forget him. And there's an example where it says, like, you start getting used to, like, you can do it. Like when you go in an aeroplane, that time they announce the usual things that, you have to put the oxygen mask, and when there is problem, then just do all those things. But when you are a regular traveler, you just get used to it and you just think that, I know everything, or I know I can do this. But when the pilot announces that, you have now there's a turbulence and the plane is actually going to crash, that time you have your most successful and more intense round. So only when you are in trouble, because we are so conditioned, we actually remember Krishna more when we are in trouble than when we are just doing normal and we think we can do it. I was thinking of that, yeah.
Sure. And we can also remember our existential situation that we're hanging by a thread. Years ago when I went to LA and I got out of the car in front of New Dwarka, I saw my friend Sovas Prabhu. We offered obeisances to each other, and then I said, "How are you doing?" He goes, "I'm hanging by a thread." And I thought, that's a good consciousness to be in, to remember how we're hanging by a thread. Okay, last for this session, Yashoda Vatsal.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
The second slide of attention means care, that actually touched me. I think I'm missing that and I need to practice it. I'm not careful probably, so that is the reason. Just giving attention doesn't make the whole difference, but have to be very careful while doing it. So yeah, that actually touched me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice reminder, and I'm glad you liked the picture. Attention means special care. So when we do japa, it's our opportunity to give special care in our relationship to Krishna by really paying attention. Let's try chanting again for a little while. Thank you, everyone, for your amazing contributions. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna. So we could get some kind of like a bumper sticker that says, fear the fade. As soon as I think that I did enough yesterday, or I've already chanted well enough in the past, and I feel entitled, then I'm going down. You could make a graph. And when I fear the fade, and I feel I'm running scared that it could be going down, so I need to give it extra effort, attention, then I'm going up. That's awareness has to be there, and that's the point. Japa and chanting Hare Krishna is the main activity for the bhakti yogi. And if we're going to put our attention and feel afraid about losing something, that's the main thing. Often people transfer their thoughts into losing their money. That at any time, all the money I worked hard for, I invested, it could go away. That's where their fear is. But the bhakti yogi who's improving is thinking, at any moment I could lose my intensity. So I have to attend to it, make sure that I have it in the right account. Did you have a question, Yashoda Vatsal?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Yeah, actually, I have one question related to chanting. I have my own troubles with adhyatmic troubles that I have. My mind plays with it, but sometimes we get disturbed. We feel disturbed, like when someone comes and interrupts our chanting, because I think we cannot always get into the secluded place. And how to deal with that, Guru Maharaj? When someone, I know how to not to get agitated.
You need a do not disturb sign. They're very powerful. Like when I stay in Vrindavan or somewhere and someone says, hey, where's your room? I'm very hesitant to say where I'm staying. Because then next thing I know, tap, 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 all day long. So I got a sign. I carry it with me everywhere, do not disturb, and I just put it on the door. Of course, it doesn't always work, but 90% of the time. If it's an old friend, they'll just knock anyway. But at home also, it's a good idea to establish protocol. If you discuss it and say, this is my new standard. When I'm chanting, I want full attention. And otherwise, if you get in the habit, even if you're sitting in the temple room and you're kind of looking around at people, as soon as you make eye contact, they'll come over and go, hey, how you doing? While you're chanting. Like if you go to a festival and you're sitting there in the temple room and you're looking around and you see an old friend, they'll come over and then they'll start talking to you. So if you don't want to be disturbed, close your eyes. And if you really don't want to be disturbed, put a do not disturb sign on your ear. But, you have to do it. You have to make the initiative. Don't depend that. Why don't other people understand? It's because we didn't tell them. So here's one more quote from Srila Prabhupada. He says, in the conditioned stage, we chant Hare Krishna mantra officially without any attachment and try to finish the rounds as soon as possible. So oftentimes devotees say that, well, I don't have any taste. Well, that's because taste is not a cheap thing. It's not that you start chanting Hare Krishna and next thing tears are coming to your eyes. It's a later stage. The beginning stage is necessary. And here it is again. In the conditioned stage, we chant Hare Krishna mantra officially, without any attachment, and try to finish the rounds as soon as possible. That's what we do in Vaidhi Bhakti. Even if we don't have a taste, we chant officially, as we understand that everything's available in the Hare Krishna mantra, and it's the main thing that we do. So chant it officially, even if you don't have taste, and taste will come later. And just as a last review, we'll see the pictures one more time, I think, if it's possible. ¿Es posible? Sí. Muchas gracias. So the points are, fade means to gradually grow weak. Gradually grow weak. It happens one molecule at a time until Next thing you know, you're sitting out in a field somewhere thinking, how did I get here? Next is all practices fade without attention. Everything fades without attention. We're constantly being pulled at by the material nature. So you have to give special care, which is one of the meanings of attention, special care. And also, attention means to stretch. Okay, go through the slides. Next is, you see, it rolls downhill. Go back, please. Boom. All practices fade without attention. We're being pulled downhill. Okay, that one you have to look at fast. And this one, special care. Just remember what special care means. That's what attention is. Next. Stretch. Stretch towards the holy name. That's what attention is. And finally, you're either improving or getting worse. There's no staying the same. So keep that in mind, and you won't get japa fade. Any last comments or realizations that anybody wants to share?
So, Guru Maharaj, after listening, I was trying to while I was counting on this beads on my left hand, I was trying to count how many mantras I am paying attention, and I was realizing it was much less than what is happening in this hand. So I just tried that today.
That's nice. Bhaktivinoda Thakur recommends that we try as many devices as possible to bring our awareness back and practice being fully attentive. Very interesting experiment. Maybe we can get a meter that hook up on our app, or an app for the Apple Watch that will tell you how many. Sharanagata.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, Dandavat. So I was thinking about it, that attention means like even around you, whoever are there, they really need to show that when you are caring for them, then they feel that even while talking to them, you have to give the full attention. And that's what I was thinking about, while doing japa, I don't pay that much attention. And then Krishna, you feel so offended if someone is ignoring you or not paying attention. And I felt that same thing exactly. And stretching is something, it requires a little bit of effort. As you said, that deliberately you do it. So I thought I have to put little bit of effort and focus and attention, to reach out to holy name. It's not that easily it will come, and even if I'm not paying attention, I'll get all the benefits. So that's what's the realization I
Well said, Sharanagata. And if anyone wants to practice with a spouse or significant other or friend, just see the difference between giving no attention, half attention, and full attention. And it's like if somebody you live with and you're used to talking to them as you're walking through the house or something like that, is used to kind of giving them half attention. Oftentimes someone will say something and, oh yeah, sure. And then 2 minutes later, what'd you say? Because you didn't really pay attention. But if you stop and turn around, it doesn't take extra time. But if you give full attention, then they'll sort of jump like, why are you looking at me? Why are you paying attention? That's what makes all the difference in the world, is the way that we pay attention or not. And that's how we're either going up or down and where we're placing our attention. Thank you for joining the Japa Circle, everybody from various places around the world. Was it Tarni Ganga who did the sketches today? Or are those yours, Sharanagata?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. 3 of them belongs to Tarini Ganga Mataji. She did it in just 1 hour or 2 hours.
And one of them you did?
Yes, one I did it.
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpataruscha. Today we'll have